Hey everyone! Today we are going to be going over the topic of the circular flow of economic activity. We're not only going to discuss the different parts of the circular model, but we will also explain how each part of the model is dependent on all the other parts of the model. So the first step to understanding the model is that households own and control resources and then sell them to businesses. Earlier this unit, we learned about three different types of resources: capital resources, natural resources, and human resources. So to refresh your memory a little bit, capital resources can include any machines, any office buildings, any office equipment, or any other materials that are needed to make other products. Natural resources come from our natural environment, are things that are extracted from the earth itself, including water, oil, wood, any fossil fuels, etc. And human resources involve the actual use of humans' either physical and or mental abilities. So households will take these three resources and sell them to businesses. Now businesses will use these three resources to then make finished products. Finished products can include anything that you buy from a business or anything that you buy from a store. For example, any of the clothes that you wear, the iPhone or the cell phone that you're using, your iPad, any restaurants that you might go out to eat in. All of these are examples of finished products that were created by either capital, natural, and or human resources. Now, once businesses make these finished products, where do they go? So businesses will take these finished products and sell them to households, essentially selling them back to the same households who provided the resources needed to make the products in the first place, making the circular flow of economic activity just that, a circle or sort of a cycle, if you will, of economic activity. So we're going to look at the model now, sort of using this flow chart or diagram. So in this model, in the circular flow of economic activity, you can see that there are two different markets that are at play. We have in the red, the product market, so this is where you'll find your goods and services. And then in the black, this is our resource market. This is where our land, labor, and capital come into play. And as you can see, within each market, both businesses and households operate. As you see that they're split in between both the product market and the resource market. So, as we see this arrow here of households going to businesses, in exchange for households providing businesses with the resources of land, labor, and capital, businesses then, as we see this next arrow here, going from businesses to households, businesses will provide households with pay in exchange for those resources. So this is essentially where people get their wages or their salaries from, is in the resource market by exchanging their work for their pay. Now in the product market, businesses will provide households with finished goods and services, aka products, and in exchange for those finished products, households will pay businesses money for those. So for example, if you were going to go to Target and buy a new pair of shoes, this is an example of you operating in the product market. You are paying the business, aka Target, money in exchange for that finished product, the pair of shoes, if you will. So to summarize the circular flow of economic activity, households and businesses alike depend on each other for two things. Households depend on businesses for finished goods and services, aka products, as we see in the red product market, and they also depend on businesses for money in the form of their wages or their salaries paid for providing resources. Finally, businesses depend on households for money to buy those goods and services or those products, and they also depend on households for the land, labor, and capital that they needed to make those goods and services in that resource market.